Hey, Parkland family, this is Pastor Chris. I'm just coming to you today with an important update. Now, I'll be honest, I've been in a lot of your news feeds quite a bit this year, making updates specifically as it pertains to COVID-19 in our church. And let me tell you, I'm tired of doing them as well, tired of having to make these kinds of updates. But unfortunately, the circumstances we find ourselves in just make this necessary. And so once again, we've been informed over the past week that another individual who was here for church this past Sunday has tested positive for COVID-19. Those individuals who were in close contact with this person have already been informed. But even beyond that, we've heard from several folks within our church family this week who have also tested positive for COVID-19 this week. And so we have lots of others that are related to those who are in quarantine right now as a result. And so there's just a great number of folks in our church who are being directly affected by this virus during this time. And so one of the really frustrating things about 2020 is the lack of consistency. From one week to the next, we never know what things are going to look like, especially for the church side of things. From one Sunday to the next, we never really know whether we're going to be able to meet next week. It all depends on what happens with our folks in between now and then. And we really want to be a place where we can be consistent, where we can know what to expect and what to plan for, and as such, we can deliver good ministry to one another. We can reach out and minister to one another in ways that are most effective during this season. And so, as we look across what we have in front of us, there are 6 Sundays left in the year 2020. And rather than trying to wrestle every single week with who was there, who tested positive, can we have church next Sunday, the church staff and church council has met, and we have made a decision together that rather than be inconsistent during this time, we want to be consistent. So we've decided that for the next 6 Sundays, beginning this Sunday, November 22nd, all the way through December the 27th, that Parkland will be online only for those 6 weeks. Now, there are all sorts of variables that went into that decision. Ultimately, what the governor mandates isn't one of those. This is a Parkland decision that we felt was the right decision to make at this time based on the numbers that we're seeing in our community as well as those just within our church family. And so it's really important for us to be consistent during this time. So our goal is for us to begin in-person activities again starting on Sunday, January the 3rd. Now, we also recognize that might be adjusted as well. We might get into later weeks and realize that date is a little bit too optimistic. And so church council will meet again in the middle of December to make those kinds of decisions and figure out whether we can begin in-person activities again on January the 3rd. Now, we also recognize that the next 6 weeks is usually a really important and one of our favorite times of year around here, and that is the Christmas season. We always kick off Christmas on that Sunday after Thanksgiving, and we really celebrate it for an entire month together as a church family. And so this year, Christmas is going to look different. We're not going to have a big family Christmas tree where we hang our ornaments here at church. We're not going to have a Christmas card box where people can drop off their cards to one another. We're not going to be able to have those in-person services like on Christmas Eve, things that we all really look forward to. And so during this time, it's going to be our goal to do as much of that virtually online as humanly possible. We're already planning to have Christmas Eve service as an online service. Rather than having a hanging of the greens this year on Sunday, November the 29th, we're going to kick off the Christmas season with an event that we're calling a Parkland Family Christmas. So this year, rather than hanging your ornament on a church tree, we're sending home a church ornament to hang on your tree at your house to remind you of your church family during this season. And so it can be easy to be disappointed because we're not going to be able to do some of those things that we normally do. And yet at the same time, I want to encourage you all the more, now that we know we're going to be online only and not doing in-person activities, I want you to go out of your way to make contact with one another. I want you to go out of your way to have a Zoom hangout with your Sunday school class, not just to have a class lesson, but to actually just sit and talk and share memories of Christmas. I want to encourage you to make that phone call to your friend from your Sunday school class, or to reach out to somebody who may not have family here in the immediate area, who you know is going to be struggling with loneliness or feeling like they're by themselves during this holiday season. It's important for us as a church family to really rally around one another during this time. It's going to take all of us to make this happen, not just the staff, not just our deacons, not just our other great volunteers. It's going to take every single one of us as our church family to reach out to one another during this season. So hang in there. Let's continue to do what's right, follow the Lord, and just try to be faithful and trust God to do the rest. God is still in control. We can worship online for the next 6 Sundays, and God will still be in control. So we look forward to seeing how God is going to work even through this time. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. You're welcome to reach out to me. You can be looking out for a great many announcement videos, and I'm going to be sending a one call to you here shortly. So make sure that you're on the lookout for those things and stay engaged. It can get really easy to become lax when we're not here in person together, but make sure that you're staying engaged with your church family during this time. I love you. I'm praying for you, and we're trusting God as we continue to move forward. We'll talk to you guys again soon.